Hey casuals, if you are a newer player or a veteran who spent the last month playing overrated rehashed games from the early 2000s and haven't kept up with Path of Exile patch notes, ultimately somehow missing the incredible mine changes, let me fill you in. Mines now throw instead of lay at your feet. They reserve mana instead of costing mana. They can be detonated instantly, even in the air, and mines throw at roughly 400 times the speed they used to, even from level 1. Now with all that out of the way, the last piece of the puzzle to this build is Dark Pact. Basically, here's how the spell works. Option 1. Cast the spell on yourself, it costs HP and does chaos damage based on a flat value and the HP lost. Option 1A. Cast the spell on a skeleton, it costs the same skeleton's HP and does the same flat value, uses the skeleton's HP instead for damage, and also chains 2 times for a total of 3 hits per cast. Option 2. Cast with mines, traps, or totems, no HP is lost because technically the mines are casting the spell, not you. And option 2A, same as 1A, except mines, traps, or totems cast it, so we could call ourselves a miner, trapper, or totemer. So now with the basic mechanics out of the way, it's pretty straightforward how the build plays. However, that doesn't mean it's the easiest thing to do efficiently. Often while mapping, I find myself fumbling which button I should push, because I'm often unsure where my skeletons are, if they are alive, or if they are even needed. That sort of indecisiveness causes my stinky brain to get confused, panic, and often die as a result. The other negative thing I can say is that the character I have is rather squishy, supporting an objectively bad 3.1k HP pool with barely capped resistances, although a modest amount of evasion and dodge have helped prolong my inevitable resurrection at checkpoint selection. So with all the bad news out of the way, the damage potential for this build is monumental, and with very little investment. I am on a 5-link Carcass Jack, and 2 of my 4 support gems don't actually add tooltip damage. Speaking of gems, I am running a level 21 Dark Pact supported by High Impact Mine. This is required for the skill to be a mine and preferred over Blast Chain Mine. Increased critical strikes, followed by Charged Mines, and Swift Assembly. Really, I should switch off that, it's actually not good. And Controlled Destruction, that's what I meant. For my 6th link, I would support with increased area of effect for mapping and swamping concentrated effect for those big bad bosses. Support summoned skeletons with Feeding Frenzy to allow them to dash, Minion Life for more minion life, and Blast Chain Mine so you can just use it as a mine skill instead of slowly casting it yourself. Skitterbots with Infernal Legion support, for a simple reason that I'll explain later. And finally, support Flame Dash with a faster casting and a level 6 Arcane Surge. This allows you to get the buff from Arcane Surge every single cast, since Arcane Surge's mana cost threshold goes up with each gem level. With about 5 minutes in Path of Building, I was able to more than triple my current damage, gaining a theoretical 800k damage at level 74 with less than optimal gear and investment into damage. The top end potential for this build is absolutely crazy, but I can't be bothered to do the math myself. Just kidding. Here's your stinky Path of Building, you needy casuals. Boom. 120k. Oh, what? Not good enough? Ah, yes. Path of Building doesn't calculate the damage per second properly, so let me fix this. 1 divided by our mine throwing time. Multiply that by 3 because each spell triggers 3 times because of the chains between skeletons. Multiply that by our damage and voila. This big old number here that didn't get written down in my script for some reason. So here's my recommended skill tree progression. Go along the trap and mine damage, grabbing Trickery and the Blood Siphon. Then Saboteur, Assassination, and Cold-Hearted Calculation. Follow that up to Written in Blood and Atrophy. Then swing back around this direction for Volatile Mines, and follow the path here to Blast Radius, Annihilation, and Cruel Preparation. Coming down for Heart and Soul, and grab these little life nodes here. Then come back along this way, grab Doom Casting with the left side for the Crypt Multi, grab Blast Cascade, continuing down to Clever Construction, Devastating Devices, Blood Drinker, and the 6% node, which is better than these 5% nodes because everything's made equal in this game. Follow down to Acrobatics, skipping Phase Acrobatics for now, grabbing Blast Waves, Heart Seeker, Herbalism, then coming back up here to Throat Seeker, which I forgot to click, Revenge of the Hunted, and then finishing off with Phase Acrobatics. Ascendancy choices are as follows: Bomb Specialist into Explosives Expert, followed by Pyromaniac, and finally Demolition Specialist. Back to Skitterbots with Infernal Legion. The Explosives Expert node gives bonuses against chilled, burning, and shocked enemies. Skitterbots already have a chilling and shocking aura. Adding Infernal Legion support to them gives them a burning aura as well. which allows us to fully utilize the node. Lastly, the gear showcase. First of all, ignore this stupid forking cowl of the cryophile. I was testing to see if it was easier to get resistances capped with it, and the answer is no. Big, angry, time-wasting no. So just get a rare helmet with life and resistances. Next, I'm sporting the ever-popular Carcass Jack for an area of effect bonus, evasion, and life. Speaking of evasion, Adziri's step boots give a nice bonus while maintaining the standard 30% movement speed and some amount of life, minor low rolled. Also, the enchantment on here isn't an accident. I actually bought them with it on purpose because technically the mines do the damage, not your character. And as a result, you, air quotes, never actually crit, allowing for the permanent 120% extra crit chance. Gloves, belts, rings, and amulet are all just life, resistances, and stats where needed. For Flasks, you should run a diamond flask for crits. Now that goes for any crit build, unless some miraculous way you get to like 90% natural crit, but generally speaking, 60 to 80% crit, you want a diamond flask. And I also run a jade flask with reflexes roll for huge evasion, and a quicksilver for zoom zoom. And if you have mana problems, and you probably will, I recommend a mana flask with the new enduring mod, since you can literally spam the mod and get essentially infinite mana. I don't know if it's a bug, it seems like a bug, but basically you queue up uses of it as it goes. Everyone's been talking about it. If you haven't heard about it by now, just spam the mana flask. I also run a life flask with a classic bubbling staunching combo for easy band-aids. So lastly, our weapon. In this case, a staff, which I actually found somewhere in the depths of my stash and literally threw on to make this guide. I was actually using a 6-link tremor rod while making this character until I discovered two things. One, that the tremor rod's double detonation effect is annoying to deal with when you're using multiple types of mines, i.e. skeletons and Dark Pact together. And B, I really wanted the money for selling it. But that being said, the simple staff like this works fine. If I had to prioritize stats, I would go for more spell damage, probably like 140% roughly, crit multi, try for tier 1 or 2, crit strike for spells, and chaos damage percentage or flat in that order. That's it for this guide. I'm going to leave you with an uninterrupted map clear so you can see how the build plays in the endgame. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'm sure I forgot something. Link to the half-baked path of building will be in the description as always. Give the video a like if you liked it, or don't if you don't. Subscribe for more guides, gameplay, and commentary. If you made it this far, I've earned it. Check out my Twitter at CasualRyanGames and Twitch at twitch.tv/CasualRyan. But hey, whatever you do, stay casual.